Imagine a place where the past and the present collide, where the line between reality and the supernatural blurs into an unsettling haze. Welcome to Whispers from the Forgotten Pages. In the heart of the enigmatic town of Ravenswood, an old weathered library known as the Raven's Haven holds secrets that defy explanation. Hidden within its dusty shelves lies a collection known only to a few. Once upon a chilling autumn night, in the quiet town of Ravenswood, there stood an old decrepit library known as the Raven's Haven. It was a place where time seemed to have stopped, its shelves filled with dusty books that held secrets too dark to be read, and stories too terrifying to be spoken aloud. In the corner of the library, hidden among the shadows, was a forgotten section known only to a few as the Dark Chronicles. Natalie, a curious young woman with an insatiable thirst for the macabre, had always been drawn to the mysterious allure of the Dark Chronicles. Her fascination with the unknown led her to visit the library every evening after her shift at the local diner. She spent hours immersed in tales of curses, haunted mansions, and vengeful spirits. One fateful evening, as the moon hung low in the sky and the wind whispered secrets through the town's narrow streets, Natalie stumbled upon a book unlike any she had ever seen before. Its leather-bound cover was adorned with an ancient symbol, and its pages exuded an eerie aura. The title read, "Whispers from the Forgotten Pages." With trembling hands, Natalie opened the book and began to read. The stories within were unlike anything she had ever encountered, each one more unsettling than the last. One tale spoke of a cursed painting that trapped the souls of those who gazed upon it, while another told of a spectral carriage that roamed the town's deserted streets, claiming the souls of the living. As Natalie delved deeper into the book's pages, she became increasingly aware of a presence lurking in the shadows of the library. It was as though the very air around her had grown heavy with foreboding. Still, her curiosity drove her to continue reading. The next story told of a sinister mirror that revealed the true nature of those who dared to look into it. Natalie shivered as she read about the mirror's malevolent power, its ability to strip away the facade of innocence and expose the darkness that lay within. At that moment, the library's lights flickered and dimmed, casting eerie shadows across the room. Natalie's heart raced as she realized she was no longer alone in the darkness. A figure, draped in tattered robes, emerged from the shadows and approached her. It was the ghostly librarian, a guardian of the Dark Chronicles. With a voice like dry leaves rustling in the wind, the librarian spoke. "You have ventured where few dare to tread, child. The stories within this book are not mere tales. They are windows into the very heart of darkness itself." Natalie, trembling with fear, managed to whisper, "Who are you?" "I am the keeper of these forbidden tomes," the librarian replied. "And you, dear Natalie, have awakened forces beyond your comprehension." Natalie's heart pounded in her chest as she realized the gravity of her situation. She had unwittingly unleashed something malevolent by reading from Whispers from the Forgotten Pages. The library itself seemed to pulse with an otherworldly energy. Desperate to undo her actions, Natalie begged the librarian for guidance. With a reluctant sigh, the ghostly figure offered a solution. She would have to complete the stories she had begun, thus sealing the dark forces back within the pages of the book. Natalie accepted the challenge and the librarian vanished into the shadows. She continued to read the stories, each one more harrowing than the last. She faced the cursed painting, saw her own reflection in the sinister mirror, and encountered the spectral carriage that sought to claim her soul. As she neared the final story, Natalie's nerves were frayed, and her sanity hung by a thread. The last tale spoke of a vengeful spirit that could only be appeased by a sacrifice of pure, innocent blood. With a heavy heart, she knew what she must do. In the dead of night, she ventured into the heart of Ravenswood's haunted forest, carrying the cursed book with her. The vengeful spirit materialized before her, a grotesque and ghastly figure. With a trembling hand, Natalie offered her own blood as a sacrifice. The spirit let out an unearthly wail and dissipated into the darkness, its malevolence sated. Natalie, drained and weakened, returned to the library and placed the book back on its shelf in the Dark Chronicles section. The ghostly librarian appeared once more and nodded in approval. You have done what was required, Natalie. The darkness has been contained once more. As dawn broke over Ravenswood, Natalie left the Raven's Haven, forever changed by her encounter with the forbidden stories. She had glimpsed into the abyss and emerged with her sanity intact, but haunted by the knowledge of the horrors that lurked in the pages of Whispers from the Forgotten Pages.